Okay, welcome back to another video, my first one for a while. Probably the best part of a month and a half, which is a long time. And apologies, I've been lazy, I've been very busy. It's that time of the year now. I think it was last week, where my mother-in-law went back to, I won't say where, just in case, but she went back to the state where she moved to 2 years ago. She's from California, but 2 years ago, she moved elsewhere in America. So this is the first time I've seen her for 2 years, which was great, obviously. Always great to see the mother-in-law. But no, joking aside, it was alright, actually, to be fair. And she likes cooking, which is brilliant. I mean, I do too, but I mean, she just loves doing it, so hardly had to lift a finger. It was fantastic. So that was good. And it's going to be even busier, coming up to Christmas now and into the new year, but it's only once a year, and Christmas is great. I love it. This time of year is fantastic. I love driving past whatever people's houses and seeing the lights up and the decorations. It just makes me feel really great. Even now as an adult, alright, it's different when you're a kid, but I still get that same kind of warmth and excitement. I still really like it. Even though really, as you get older, it's not really about getting presents yourself, is it? But still, it's whatever. Whether you're getting presents, whether you're buying them, whatever the reason or whatever you're doing, it's still a great time of the year. And I'll always love it. It's absolutely brilliant. So that's that. If I've already said, I can't even remember. I've been making this video for a minute and my mind's gone blank. But apologies for the lighting if I haven't already said that. But it's that, again, because it's Christmas, what time is it? It's come up to 4:30 in the afternoon. So it's kind of light, but it's dark, and it's reflecting in the image quality, which to me, when I'm looking at it on the screen, looks pretty poor. But apologies if it looks bad, but we're just going to have to go with it. So, yeah, I've been busy, as I say, but it's good to see a few people return. Last night I watched Adam Shock 16's first vid for best part of a month and a half or 2 months, a similar amount of time to myself. Pete Snestastic had been away again for a similar amount of time, and a few others as well. And it's really good to see people coming back, especially the old people. We're all young people, but the old experienced people, if you like, the experienced YouTubers, not the old YouTubers. So that's always good because, it's great discovering new channels, but I think it's something, for me anyway, I really like it when the old the experienced YouTubers come back and stick around, and I just like it. I guess it's because when I started, a lot of them were still around, so I'm used to them, and it's nice that, they continue to make vids, if that even made any sense. But it's always great to discover new channels as well, which is just, it helps the community, doesn't it? That's what it's all about. And one of the things I'm going to have to quickly touch upon, one of the things I noticed by watching Pete Snestastic's vid, is you've probably seen Pete's vid. If not, you've got to watch it. Not just because he's a good lad, but because it's his first video for a while, and I think he spoke really from the heart a lot, and that was reflective in the amount of people who thumbed up or liked the video. But one of the things he did touch upon is that he's experienced trolling of late, and that is something to a much lesser degree that I've experienced it. It makes it sound like I've been the victim, but it's so irrelevant to me, it just doesn't really matter. But if you want to use that word troll, then I guess I've had that as well. A number of us have. Maybe you yourself have had it, because so many people have over the last 2 or 3 months. It appears, I don't know for certain, but I'm pretty certain, with that said, that I know who the YouTuber is, and Pete did mention who it is or who he thinks it is. And this particular YouTuber, for whatever reason, is going around the community. Every now and again he'll go away and he'll come back, and he'll create fake channels, he'll create with stupid videos on there. He'll leave ridiculous comments and attack all the YouTubers in the comment sections, and create fake channels and all that kind of stuff, and obviously dislike the videos. That's one of the things he specialises in. And I've been lucky, and I say that, and I know I'm setting myself up to get loads on this vid, but it won't mean anything, because I'm going to explain why. But I've always been lucky on YouTube when it comes to the dislikes. I don't really get that many. Again, I probably set myself up. You probably look at it now and there's 3 million on there. But I don't usually get very many. Sometimes I get none. Occasionally there's 1. Rarely there's 2. But going back around about a month and a half ago, as Pete touched upon in his vid, I replied to a comment one night on, I think it was that Guns, Gore and Cannoli Xbox One gameplay video that I did. Replied to a comment, went to bed, woke up the next morning to reply to another comment, and it had 34, 35 dislikes. And I was like, what the bloody hell has happened? Where did that come from? And I genuinely didn't know. I was a little bit confused. I wasn't concerned, but it was kind of weird. And I clicked on my previous vid, and it had a similar amount of dislikes. And the one after that had I think 30 odd as well. It was really weird. And then there was a couple either side which had like 4 or 5, so clearly you couldn't be bothered to go through them all and do 30 odd. So you thought, I'll just do 4 on that one, you can have 30 on that one. And it was just really bizarre. And of course there's a lot of silly comments on there where other YouTubers were kind of attacked verbally. You may have been one of the victims. If so, you'll know what I mean. Clearly it wasn't me responding. And I just thought it was really, really silly. And I hate bullying. I absolutely hate it. Excuse me. And I never condone it at all. But with that said, you'd have thought if you've got someone who really wants to annoy or upset somebody in the community, you'd have thought they'd go after a young person who is more susceptible, to being upset, to maybe closing their channel down, and just kind of falling off the edge of the earth. But when you do it to the older, experienced YouTubers, which seems to be the general pattern, at least with a few people that I can think of, it's just odd. It doesn't make any sense because it's just water off a duck's back. It doesn't mean anything. It's kind of silly. So that's the chair, by the way, in case you heard some weird noises there. So, yeah, I don't know why people bother with that. It's really, really silly. So I think the point I want to make is if you see from here on in, any ridiculous channels that are going up with stupid videos, which either have me in or you or anyone else in the community, then just ignore it because you know it's nothing to do with us. If you see any stupid comments going up, any new channels created which are similar in usernames to ourselves, again, it's ridiculous. You know what the kind of things I'm going to say and what I'm not going to say. And if you see any dislikes, a stupid amount of dislikes, well, you know where it's all coming from. It's coming from an individual, I think, and I don't know what they're doing. It's really sad. I mean, genuinely, I'm not being like, a little bit kind of patronising, but it is genuinely sad. Because if someone out there is spending all their time doing that, they must be seriously depressed. And that is an illness, and that is sad. They should really seek some help for that, because it can't be nice. It can't be nice going online every day, trying intentionally to upset or anger or annoy and prod people. How boring must your life be to do that? It's really unfortunate. So I'm expecting the silliness to continue on YouTube for a good while yet. But one day, maybe that individual, if it's who Pete said it was, and it probably is, but if it is, then maybe one day they'll grow up and look back and cringe at some of the stuff they've done. But anyway, that's that. I'm not going to attack anyone because it might just be an act of immaturity, and that sounds a bit rude. I don't mean it in that way. I'm just, sometimes people are immature. You do silly things, and you look back years in the future and you think, I can't believe I did that. I'm the same. I mean, some of the stuff I did when I was a kid was absolutely ridiculous. Even up into my early 20s, I did some stupid things where I look back now, like, a decade or so on, and it's like, I can't believe I did that. How embarrassing. So you live and learn. But yeah, the whole online or offline bullying, I absolutely hate it. And of course, they'd never say it to your face, but the anonymity that YouTube and the internet brings is quite a weapon for some people, and that's a shame. So, if you're not going to like someone, or you've got an axe to grind, just don't watch it. Just better your own life. And, all right, I'm off my soapbox now. I was going to go on there. But yeah, so you get the picture. Ignore any silliness in the community. We all know it's going around. There's 1, 2 people, whatever it is, being silly. Ignore comments, dislikes, videos. Ignore it all. Don't react. Do not react. And if you are going to react, then do it in kind of a positive adult way. Don't be silly and don't stoop to their level. That's just absolutely ridiculous. So anyway, went on a bit of a rant there, but I felt it was kind of justified, and it also explains a little bit as to what's been going on with a lot of people in the community of late, and hopefully some people who were affected, because I'm sure there must have been a couple, are going to start making videos again, because there's no way someone should stop another person from uploading onto YouTube and sharing their hobbies and their interests with people. That's just that's a travesty when that happens, because YouTube's there for all of us. All right, I'm definitely off. I'm off my soapbox. Pickups. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games altogether, and a peripheral. I say a peripheral. It's I guess it's a peripheral. It's a joypad, or a controller, I guess, is the more modern word to use rather than a joypad. But it's one for the Xbox One, and it's the Lunar White. Now, I saw this going back whenever it came out, 2-3 months ago, I think it was best part of $70, which is expensive. That's around about 50 quid. But I really like the look of it, and I thought I'm going to get it, so I have. Excuse me, so that's that. And if you want a closer look, if you can see there, nice little gold-plated D-pad and the gold triggers. And this has kind of got like a rubbery feel, which is similar to the Forza one, which kind of like almost feels like a steering wheel in a sense. So yeah, I really like it, and I love the colours on the front as well. There, if you can see that, just next in the middle of the buttons there. No, on this side, there you go, with the blue, yellow, green, and red. So really pleased to get that. The Xbox One, as I've said before, is a brilliant system. Lately, over the course of the past 3 months, maybe I've gone back to the PlayStation 4, but I've constantly done that this generation. I've kind of spent a bit of time on the PlayStation 4, then I've moved on to the Xbox One, and I think I'll probably continue doing that. But it really depends. We'll see. Now, speaking of the Xbox One, I've got one game. I've not played this, so I can't tell you what I think of it, but I've played other games in the series, and I know what it's going to be like. And it's Dead Rising 3, with a really nice kind of silver foil kind of reflective cover there. Reminds me of like the stickers, like Panini stickers back in like the 80s. You know, all the badges and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, this is the Day 1 edition, as it says on the top. I picked this up on eBay for, I think, around about $12, which I was really pleased with. That's including shipping. Obviously, these days, you don't really get much when it comes to instructions. Just like kind of an add-on, I think, there, and a Xbox Live Gold thing. And obviously the disc, which kind of helps. And there's the spines, of course. I've talked about these spines many times. I'll always be on the fence with these. I kind of like them. I like the uniformity, but at the same time, I find them quite bland. But I always talk about that, so I'll skip that on this occasion. So yeah, really pleased to get it, and especially at that price. It was one that when the Xbox One first came out, I really wanted to get, and I very nearly bought it for like $50, $60. So admittedly, I've waited a couple of years, but you know, I've saved $40, $45, $50, whatever it is. So really pleased to get that, and I'm looking forward to giving it a bash. And I thought the other games in the Dead Rising series were pretty good. I think the one thing, though, that I didn't like, was it the first one or the second one? I can't remember, but it was kind of like a fight against time, a race against the clock, and I didn't like that. I wanted to kind of, pace out and, just take my time doing what I wanted to do and experience and investigate and look around the mall and all that kind of stuff and the surroundings. But I couldn't really do it because the clock was constantly ticking, and I didn't like that. So hopefully they've got rid of that for this version, and I think they have. But we'll see. So what should we do next? Let's stick this one in front of your eyes. So I don't buy that many Genesis games. I'm more of a PAL guy, as you'll all know, or if you don't all know, now you do, because of nostalgia. Again, I touched upon that many, many times. It's all about nostalgia for me. But every now and again, if I get the opportunity to buy a Genesis game or an American Super Nintendo game, I will. And there's a Super Nintendo American game here as well. And I saw this one, and it was only going for $5, and I thought, that sounds really good. It looked like a shoot 'em up, and I like a shoot 'em up. I'm not very good at them, but I do like to try them. So I had a quick look at previously sold items, and this one was kind of going for $15, $20. And I thought, well, why is this going for $5? I couldn't work it out. The only theory I've got is that it'd only been on eBay for about a day, so maybe no one had seen it and hadn't placed a bid on it. Excuse me again. So I placed a bid on it. Well, it was a buy now. $5, bought it, and that game is called Twin Cobra. Desert Attack Helicopter, I think is its subtitle there. So yeah, the Genesis, man. The word Genesis, no, not having it. It's all about the Mega Drive for me. But I've actually put this on. It's quite hard for me, because like I say, I'm not a massive expert when it comes to shooters, but I do enjoy them. But yeah, so far I quite like it. And maybe eventually I may do a gameplay. Now, speaking of shooters, this is more my thing. I picked this up. I can't remember, if I'm honest, how much I paid for it. I'm going to guess, even though it's a waste of time because I can't remember, but let's say $20, $25, give or take. And I put it in one of these kind of Sentinel boxes, so it looks pretty presentable and feels quite sturdy. But it's Super R-Type. Again, apologies for the reflection there and the glare off the actual box. On the American Super Nintendo, again, PAL is usually my thing, but I'm really pleased to get this. So R-Type is a brilliant game, and I used to have Super R-Type going back like 20 years, or the best part of 20 years. When did this come out? Yeah, 1991. So I guess it would have been 92, possibly early 93 in PAL regions. So we all know what R-Type is. Really good game, pretty challenging. Really, really pleased to have that. Now, when it comes to the Super Nintendo, the American Super Nintendo, I touched upon it quite recently. I wouldn't go as far as saying I'm prioritising American games over PAL games, because PAL will always be there because of nostalgia. But just because it's so easy for me to buy American games, and yeah, they run faster, even though that's never really been a game changer for me. But still, factually speaking, they do run faster without the borders and all that kind of stuff. So I think for a while I'm going to prioritise American games unless it's something I really want. Now, if I get an opportunity to buy a PAL game, then I'll get it. But PAL games are so expensive. So in an ideal world, I'll be buying the PAL stuff, but you're probably going to see going forward, at least in the immediate future, more American stuff, to be honest. But eventually, years from now, decades from now, hopefully the old PAL collection will be pretty impressive. But we'll see. Excuse me again. This is what happens. Don't make a video for ages, and you forget what it's like to talk on camera, and you need a drink every 10 seconds. So 3 games left. Let's do... I don't think I've shown this one before. Sorry. So, this one is for the N64. It's Ridge Racer. I say Rage Racer. I was looking at Rage Racer gameplay last night, thinking of getting that on the PS1. But yeah, Ridge Racer 64. In really good condition. Picked this up for $15, and I was really pleased to do that. Again, in one of these Sentinel cases. And now, for me, the ultimate Ridge Racer game, of course, is on the PlayStation 1. In fact, I can't think of what else it came out on. I guess the Xbox 360 had one version, didn't it? Was it Ridge Racer 6? But certainly the original for me is absolutely brilliant. It's a massively nostalgic game. I remember when it came out on the arcades, and I absolutely loved it. And this is a decent conversion. It's not amazing, but it's decent. I'm having fun with it. And I've got to be honest as well, I really like, where is it? There, the green side. And one of the things I like about the American N64 games is that if you look on every corner, I think I've done this already actually on this feed, but a different colour. So whatever, takes your fancy on that particular day. And I'd probably at this moment in time go with green. Probably that way. Not that it matters. But then again, I like the blue. I like them all. So really pleased to get Ridge Racer. And it's a good conversion. It's not amazing, but it's fun. It's a typical N64 kind of polygon-y kind of look to it, and feel. But I'm enjoying it. Now, 2 games left. This first one I've not actually played yet. Well, that's kind of a lie. Well, I installed it and I went through the menu systems, but I've not properly played the game. Now, I'll show you what it is, and then I'll talk a little bit about it from what little I know. It is XCOM Enemy Unknown. I really like the cover. And it's got this kind of, when you put your hand like underneath the plastic anyway, kind of real embossed kind of feel to it. And the bright blue looks really nice, really striking. And I like that a lot. And there's a spine, in case you want to see that. So yeah, XCOM. Do you want to see the insides? I guess you do. Whatever. Now, I've always wanted to get into an XCOM game. I didn't know which one. And going back around about 2 years now, maybe even longer than that, Owen, Libosu77, uploaded like a long series of gameplay where he put a load of YouTubers, myself included, into the team, into the squad, and we went about, defeating the aliens. And it was really good to watch. I really liked it. And it was a kind of game which, in theory, is definitely my kind of thing. But I think it's one of those games that you've got to plough time in. You've got to think about what you're doing. You've got to be strategic. You can't just put that type of game on, really, for 10 minutes. You've got to put it on, really, for the best part of, an hour or even more to really sink your teeth into it and get to grips with it. And I don't know. It's something always off-putting about those kind of games to me. But I do want to do it. I guess maybe it's just laziness. Maybe too often just going for the Call of Duties or like a FIFA or something. That instant kind of gratification of putting a game on for 10 minutes and getting your fix and your hit. And I tend to opt for that instead. But I really want to get into these kind of games. So when I saw this going the other day, I think for around about $8. I say the other day, a couple of months ago, I thought I've got to get that. It's a really good price. And I'm really looking forward to putting it on. Now, I think on the PlayStation 3, it's also out on the 360. I think there's maybe 3 XCOM games. And I'm not sure if this is the first one. I get a feeling it is. This came out in 2012. So, relatively recent, 3 years, knocking on 4 years. So it still looks all right, and I'm sure it'll play well. It's PlayStation 3. It's a decent system, with a lot of, technical stuff to it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to giving it a crack. I think I'm gonna like it, but it is that kind of game, like I say, that you've really got to spend a lot of time with. You can't just put it on for a few minutes and expect to like it. You've got to put some serious devotion into that game. Now, speaking of serious time and devotion, this is really where all my online gaming, and quite frankly offline, up until recently, has gone on this game, on the PlayStation 4. And it's brilliant. It is Star Wars Battlefront. Now, this is the deluxe edition. I'm not quite sure what I like the spine as well. Kind of a gold, like kind of a sand, Tatooine kind of desert thing going on there. I think that, what does this give you? It looks as if the deluxe edition just gives you like an extra couple of weapons, which you can unlock anyway, so maybe just get early access to it. And a victory emote. Did I pronounce that right? Emote? Obviously not down with the kids these days. And an emote basically is one of those kind of like a sort of a celebration, or like kind of a some kind of thing your character can do. Like kind of, put his, like a, what's it called? Like when you're fist thinging, thumping. Fist thumping? That sounds pretty dodgy. Whatever you call it. Fist pumping. So that sounds even worse. And then you get these, like kind of waving and doing all these like gesticulations. Fist thumping and fist pumping. Honestly, can't believe I said that. Anyway, but I think that's what you call it. It's one of those anyway. So, yeah, that to me is ridiculous. I'm not bothered about that. I just want to play the game. And being a massive Star Wars fan, and I think, isn't it tonight? The first screening's going to be tonight. Now, a lot of people are going to be avoiding the spoilers. I've got to be honest. I'm probably going to have a sneaky look. I'm going to watch it anyway. So, and I don't think I can cope with everyone else knowing what's going on for like 4 days until I possibly get to see it. So, yeah, I'm just going to have a look, and then I'll watch it knowing what's going to happen. But I don't mind, whatever. As long as they don't kill Han Solo. That's all I'm saying. If they do that, I mean, if they do it, well, I guess I'm just going to have to accept it. But it would annoy me, and I think J.J. Abrams would be being an absolute Judas. A Judas if he kills Han Solo. I think that'd be a terrible thing to do. All that nostalgia, and, and you get a lot of people who come out and they're like, oh yeah, but Harrison Ford, he wanted to have the character killed off in Return of the Jedi or Empire Strikes Back. Well, yeah, but he's not the bloody director, is he? He's just an actor. He doesn't get a say. And people will be like, oh yeah, but he wouldn't have come back if they'd not killed him off. Well, I wouldn't have invited him back then. I'd have left him off. Don't kill him off. Although it may happen if rumours are to be believed. But I hope not. Anyway, we'll soon find out. Back to the game. So yeah, I've been really enjoying this. And now a lot of people are saying that there's not a lot of maps. There is actually quite a few maps, but you don't get all the maps on all the game modes, at least not right now. So with that in mind, it does feel as if a few of the game modes are short of maps. But overall, there's quite a few different maps on there. But there is an offline mode. A lot of people have complained that there's not a campaign, and there isn't a campaign. But what there is kind of, there's co-op, there's like segments, story sections, where you can fight against like waves, like horde mode essentially. So it's not really a campaign, but it's the next best thing. I know they've talked about, for a sequel, potentially having a campaign, and maybe more story-driven DLC, which is going to be in the Season Pass coming in the future. And that's another thing people have complained about, $50 for the Season Pass. Now, it is expensive, but a lot of Season Passes are $40, $50, so what's the big deal? I don't really understand why too many people are whinging about it. To me, I'm probably going to buy it because I like Star Wars and I like the game. And as a first-person shooter, or as an online shooter, I should say, I think it's really good. Like, the graphics are fantastic, the sound is amazing, watching all the characters running around, killing all the stormtroopers and all that kind of thing. It's brilliant. It's a really good game. I'm going to have to do some gameplay of this. Whether it's your cup of tea or not, well, if it is, you can watch it. If it isn't, you don't have to watch it. But it's a really, really good game. And actually, last night, if anyone remembers COD 2 fan, a YouTuber, I think he goes by the name Badly Worn Toy these days, he's not actually uploaded a video for the best part of 3 years, 2-3 years, which is outrageous. It's such a long time. He used to be a real kind of, a really involving member of the community. He made a lot of videos. I think they're still up. I don't think he's taken them down. But he used to make loads of videos, regularly, like every week. Like epic pickup vids. He'd watch other people's vids and communicate and all that kind of stuff. And he's been on my Xbox 360 and Xbox 360 friends list. and now I'm at PlayStation 4. Listen, we were playing online the other night on Battlefront, last night actually. Unlocked a couple of trophies thanks to the co-op thing. And that's really great. That just still blows my mind, how you can be, on the other side of the world with somebody, or from somebody else, and you're there, you can see each other on your screen, and you can talk to each other, and it's just unbelievable. It constantly amazes me. So I was playing that with him, and it was really good. I don't know why I'm still kind of holding this up, but bloody hell. But yeah, really liking it. Star Wars Battlefront. If you like online shooters, I think you'll really like it. A lot of people have said it's quite limited. I don't think so, not really. I guess maybe if you're hardcore about your shooters, then possibly. Maybe something like a Battlefield is more for you, or like a Call of Duty. But for me, I bought Black Ops 3, I think it was on my last Pickups vid, and I talked about the fact that I actually quite like it. It's decent, it's much better than the previous two CODs, but I haven't even touched Black Ops 3 in a month. I just haven't touched it. And I won't be anytime soon, because for me, personally, this absolutely walks all over it. This is miles better. So, that's all I'm playing at this moment in time. So, that's about that. How long have this video been going on for? 20 odd minutes, quite a long time. So, let's wrap it up. So, apologies for the delay in making a video. It's been a while. There's a little nice selection of titles there. All of them I'm really pleased to get. Not all of them I've played, as I discussed, but all of them I really want, and I can see myself definitely getting into. So, until my next vid, which will be sometime this week, I should say, then until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.